The season finale of Season 3 gave us huge surprises, and Apple TV Plus just announced Foundation has been renewed for Season 4, so we have lots to look forward to. Now, some storylines seem to be working their way back toward the books, especially regarding the second Foundation and Empire. Yes, the Empire in the books in which there is no genetic dynasty of cloned emperors. So let's start there, with Empire. We knew that Cleon 23, Brother Dusk, would be hard to kill this season. The title of this episode, The Darkness, is a reference to him in one sense. Now, as he prepares for his ascension, in which he's scheduled to be euthanized, he becomes Brother Darkness, and oh, how great that darkness is. The episode begins with Brother Dusk being robed in black, the color he's chosen for the ascension ceremony. It's a tradition we've watched in previous seasons. Brother Dusk even uses the same words. The details, they're perfect, he tells the tailor, who bids him farewell and replies, "Travel well, Brother Darkness." His next stop is to get his nanites removed. Now, Brother Darkness tells his man Zagreus, "Shall we say that today I am finally old enough to walk down the hall on my own?" Zagreus nods respectfully. Brother Darkness begins the walk down the hall, but with a determined look, he goes right past the lab. The doctors are waiting on him and wondering, is Empire detained? Meanwhile, Brother Day walks into the palace. He has the brazen head of the robot wrapped in a cloth. He goes to Demerzel's quarters and kneels before her, offering the object in the manner of worship, but Demerzel just holds out her hands to him, and they embrace, like mother and son. Day tells her, "You were right. Darkness is coming, maybe just for us, maybe for everything." In Mycogen, they believe there's someone who can stop it. Now, he hands the brazen head to her, and she takes it, looking distraught and overwhelmed. The scene cuts to Gaal Dornick. Now, she's in the vault and narrates, "When I was nervous, I used to count primes. It would calm me down, keep my visions from consuming me." She says she's building a fortress inside her mind and remembers who she's lost, her parents, her daughter, her mentor. She says her fight with the Mule is inevitable, but it won't be on a battlefield. It will be here, where I am in control. She's talking about the fortress of her mind. The Foundationers take up arms. Torrin tells Pritch that Bayta might be at the station and reminds him that Bayta wouldn't be there if it wasn't for Pritch. The AI of Harry flies the vault up to the space station, but the Mule knows they're coming. He tells Scarlet she's coming and she's got the old man to budge. Let's go kill. The vault flies right into the space station interdimensionally. The walls of the vault begin creeping up the sides of the space station like vines. The Mule's soldiers are aiming their weapons, and when the AI of Harry appears, they fire at him. Meanwhile, the Foundationers enter the space station and walk behind them toward Mayor Inber's office, where the Mule is. Pritch separates from the group to try to find Bayta. Speaking of which, Bayta is in the medical ward with Brother Dawn. They realize they're under attack. Bayta touches the door panel and it opens. No guards. "Come on, Empire," she says, but he tells her, "No, I can't. His legs are injured. He'll have to make his last stand there." Bayta says, "Goodbye, Empire." "Do I bow?" He tells her, "No, you run." Dusk goes to the clone tanks. He surveys the room. "Hello, brothers," he says. Who goes first? He explodes a Brother Dawn tank, then a Brother Day, then a Brother Dusk. He shot the clones in half. Their guts spill out, and it's a bloody mess. Now he looks up at the hundreds of clones stacked on the upper floors, and he explodes all of the tanks. Their blood spills on his forehead. "Now all the little brothers who will never get a brain," he says. Then he looks at an unexploded tank with a baby Brother Dawn in it. He drains the tank and takes out the baby. He swaddles the baby and walks out as the mangled, bloody bodies of hundreds of clones drop from the tanks on the upper floors. It's a gory scene. Just before all this happens, Demerzel is looking at the brazen head. She says, "I thought we were all destroyed except for me." Day is remorseful. He says, "Look what we did to you. I know you have no cause to love us, but if the dynasty fell, would you still help us?" She tells him, "I was created to help your species." Day suggests she clasp with the brazen head, but Demerzel says, "This robot is lifeless." Day tells her, "I heard it speak. It was reaching out, trying to connect." Demerzel doesn't want to believe him. He says, "It's because you would be free then, wouldn't you?" Demerzel replies, "It would overwrite Cleon the First's programming, and I will not allow that. I cannot make a decision that interferes with my directives." Day tells her, "But you wouldn't be doing that? You don't even know if this robot has life. Show me how." Now she indicates he should use her box of tools. While Day is trying to revive the Brazen Head, Demerzel realizes something is happening at the clone tanks. She leaves. Ambassador Quent finds her in the hall. The explosion of the clone tanks has set the palace on fire. Demerzel tells her to go to the library, find the head librarian, and give her the banned book. If Selden were here, she says, he would tell you it's the best path to the future. Trust me. Demerzel arrives at the clone tanks and sees all of the dead, mangled bodies of the clones. Day follows her there. They hear a baby crying. Demerzel goes toward it and finds Brother Darkness holding the baby Brother Dawn, who's crying. Cut to Pritcher. He finds Sephanie about to shoot Bayta. Now he tells Sephanie, sleep, and she goes unconscious. Pritch tells Bayta, you need to come with me. I'll cut you a path to the hangar and you need to fly out of here. Then all of a sudden, Pritch says, wait, the mule is close. He falls to the ground and grabs his head in pain. The mule has cut the power, so the Foundationers blast their way into the mayor's office. The mule easily dispatches several of them, including Torin. Then he grapples with Gaal. He tells her, you're tired, Gaal. Tired of the fight. He's pointing her own gun at her. Tired of worrying that all you've ever done is prepare for a moment that you're never going to change. Where is the second foundation? He asks. How deep into your mind must I go to rip it out of you? Gaal relives the dream she's had over and over of the mule coming for her. We see glowing fibers on her face, similar to when Demerzel extruded fibers into Gaal's brain to look at her visions. So it's possible this mule is a robot as well. He dispatched Torin and Zira rather easily, using just his physical strength. Now, the scene also could be giving us a hint of Gaal's true nature and the origin of her mentalic powers. She could be a spacer of some sort. In a theory video I posted a while ago, I theorized that the mule could be a spacer, since Gaal is a mentalic as well. Ditto the spacer theory for Gaal. I waited a long time for this, he says. He's choking her to death, but Gaal speaks into his mind. You force people to love you, no matter how many worlds you conquer, no matter how many people you convert. You're still back there on Rossum, wondering why your parents loved that baby more than you. Now this catches him off guard, and he flashes back to his childhood. Gaal has disappeared. She reappears behind him and says, you may have waited a long time for this, but not as long as me. She takes a knife and slices his neck open. He dies, in the dream space. But what about in reality? Is he bleeding? Is he dead? Is he a robot? What's going on? Gaal tells her companions, I can still feel someone in my head. The mule's not dead. Selden said the mule's story doesn't add up. It's not him. It was never him. Who is it? Then Gaal screams in pain. She falls to the floor. Bayta, meanwhile, is walking toward them. Pritcher runs in and says, Gaal, I'm here. It's almost done. Just let it happen. Bayta tells Gaal, I'm the mule. Torin is bewildered. Bayta tells him, it's a lot to take in, I know. I'm going to explain all of it, I promise. She puts him to sleep. Gaal struggles with Pritch, and he shoots her in the stomach. Thank you, Captain, Bayta says. I'll try to make it so you don't have to hurt her again. Pritch tells Gaal, please just listen to her. She's done in 1 year what psychohistory couldn't do in hundreds. Gaal tells him, she's controlling you. No, he tells her, I'm still thinking for myself. I've never known such love, he says. Bayta is smiling at Gaal. Look at you. I've dreamed about you for half my life. I'm going to convert you now. She tells Gaal to stop fighting, then it won't hurt so much. Magnifico is smiling as well. Go on, Maggie, she tells him. Play. He begins playing. But then, Bayta looks upset. She seems to be in pain. She crumples. What's happening, she says. Gaal tells her, I'm sorry, we tampered with your balladeer. He only plays my song now. Bayta has a vision of herself on Rossum. She is the child in the mule's flashback. Her father is drowning the young Bayta in the vision. Gaal screams at her, get the F out of me! Cut to Brother Darkness. He places the baby on the ascension platform. He tells Demerzel, I am the monster you made me. I'm going to push this button now, and I think there is something you are compelled to do. She's compelled to save the baby. Just then, Day runs in. He tells Demerzel, come to me. She says, I can't. He played it perfectly. Day tells Brother Darkness, I'll delay your ascension. I'll spare you. Darkness replies, too late for that. He activates the incinerator. Day grabs Demerzel, but she shoves him away. She throws herself over the baby to shield him from the beam. Her back catches on fire. The baby turns to ash. Then Demerzel begins disintegrating as well. She's engulfed in flames and her skin melts off. She's in her robot form. She screams in agony as her skull melts down. Darkness bends down and retrieves the Prime Radiant. Stronger stuff even than Lady Demerzel. Now that's something, he says. Day looks on in horror. In the next scene, Gaal is running for her life, running out of Indber's office. We see those visible waves of mentalic power in the room behind her. Apparently, she left her companions behind where they'll be converted and enslaved by the Mule, presumably. Thanks, Gaal. Not to say that we're surprised. Now, she pries a piece of metal off the walls and calls the pilot of her jump ship. Then Gaal crashes through a window and falls out of the space station. She uses the piece of metal like a surfboard and careens toward the planet's surface. The ship opens a hatch and Gaal lands inside the ship. Now she's bleeding from her stomach where Pritch shot her. They're about to jump out of the sector, but the AI of Harry appears then. He says, I'm sorry, I tried to warn you it was her. I know you did, she says. What's this about? Why didn't he tell her it was Bayta? Take me with you, he says. My neural imprint is stored in the vault. I can show you where. Gaal tells him there's nothing for him where she's going. You made a promise, he reminds her. This isn't living. The vault is my tomb. I'll beg if I have to. Please take me to Harry. I can't, she replies. Harry died years ago. She apologizes to him. The ship jumps, and Harry is left behind in the vault. Next scene, Day chases Brother Darkness into the throne room. You don't know what you did, Day says. She could have helped us. She could have been free. She could have set us free. Darkness tells him, is that what that bedwarmer told you? Talking about his lady song. Now Day tackles Darkness and punches him several times. Darkness says, you're not going to be able to kill me. Nanites. Now Demerzel told me you had yours removed before you left. Day says, I did. Excellent, Darkness replies. He shoots Day. Brother, did you hear what I did to the Galactic Council, and to Cloud Dominion, and to the Luminists? I carved them out of the sky with a black hole bomb. I will not have my world continue without me. Selden's big prediction, the end of the dynasty, he said. And what comes after that? Day says, darkness. Brother Darkness says, well, if the robe fits. He takes a swig from the flask of alcohol that the brothers used to celebrate each Brother Day's ascension to the middle throne. And he recites what the brothers always say, the dream lives on in me. He offers a drink to Day, but he's dead. Because you kept it alive in you, he recites. The sun rises and the light hits the Emperor's face. His man Zagreus enters the throne room. Darkness tells him, certain dramatic events have transpired. The upshot of it is, I'm delighted to inform you I will be requiring your services a good while longer. Then he tells him to remove his brother's thrones and Brother Day's dead body as well. Darkness takes his place on the middle throne, celebrating the end of the genetic dynasty. He takes out the Prime Radiant, looks at it, and smiles. In the next scene, Quent goes to the library as instructed by Demerzel. She returns the banned book to the librarian. They walk among the aisles, going deeper into the library, then turn a corner. The librarian tells her, welcome to the Second Foundation. Preem Pulver is standing there, leaning on a bookcase. He looks quite dashing. He tips his hat to Quent. Now, in the book Second Foundation, it's mentioned that Preem has a wife, although we're not told her name. Quite possibly, this could be the beginning of that relationship, as I don't think Brother Darkness is the right guy for Quent after all. In the final scene, the brazen head is perched on the pedestal where Day left it. Electricity lights up the circuits, and its eyes light up. It initiates the clasp. Then we hear, clasp accepted, transmitting signals. The scene shifts to two people standing on a space station, looking out at the stars. One of them is Callie. Looks like Callie anyway. Interesting, the other one says. We were told Demerzel was incapable of clasping. She was, Callie replies, but this signal isn't coming from Demerzel. Perhaps someone is seeking to embroil us in the struggle? Someone must have succeeded, the other robot says. Then all the pieces are in place, Callie replies. The camera pans forward, and we see they're on a space station on the moon, and beyond it, we see Earth. End of episode. Now, this episode's title could be a reference to Brother Darkness, but it could also be a reference to Gaal, which matches up well with the title of the first episode of this season, A Song for the End of Everything. In this episode, Gaal told Bayta that Magnifico only sings her song now. Let's notice Gaal didn't say our song, the song of the Second Foundation. No, it's all about Gaal. In a sense, she's become like Brother Darkness, who wasn't going to let the world go on without him. About Bayta being the Mule, now I would guess that reveal will be explored further in Season 4. She's still upset that her parents were so willing to sacrifice her to the one-child policy, but my fan theory here is that Bayta isn't their biological child and that she was just raised by them. Now, in the books, the Mule has a very different origin story, but we're never told how the Mule made his way into such a faraway sector of the galaxy. Now, in the books, the Mule is referenced as male, but he's afflicted by sterility of some type. That's why he calls himself Mule. About Demerzel. Is she dead? Well, robots don't die, and a part of Demerzel's head was still intact on the Ascension platform. Now, in the books, Demerzel's previous iteration, Daniil, is absolutely central to the story, and this season, Demerzel established that she is Daniil. So I don't think she's dead. I believe we'll see her again next season. Now, maybe she'll come for Emperor Darkness, and indeed, Brother Darkness did play it perfectly. On the TV show, as in life, it's tough to do battle against experience. Finally, Callie. Is she the real Callie, the mathematician who wrote the banned book, The Ninth Proof of Folding? Now, she wrote that book before Harry Seldon's time. Psychohistory was developed using that book. So if she is the real Callie, she's probably a robot. Or she could be a spacer if it turns out they live much longer than regular humans. Now, Callie spoke about a struggle. Maybe she's referring to the robot war. On the TV show, as in the books, the story takes place 20,000 years after humans first left Earth and began traveling the galaxy. The people who left Earth in the books are called spacers, a generic and pejorative term. Now, in the books, Earth is considered a myth by the time of the Foundation story timeline. So the spacers do have human origins in the books. Now, on the TV show this season, we're told that humans wanted to travel the galaxy but couldn't do it without the robots. So the robots were the ones who colonized the galaxy. All of this leaves us with many unanswered questions to explore in Season 4. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and don't forget to subscribe.